KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more. Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.
Good morning, I'm Debbie Cruz. It's Tuesday, April 2nd. Humanitarian organizations are urging the Biden administration to stop deportations to Haiti amid civil unrest. More on that next. But first, let's do the headlines. As of yesterday, the minimum wage for some fast food workers increased to $20 an hour. For workers like Sergio Valderrama, it means spending more time with family.
Me making $4 extra, on the minimum wage is gonna mean that I probably have to work less hours, maybe finish around 10 or 11 instead of 3 o'clock in the morning like I usually do, and maybe take a day off here and there, so that I can actually spend it with my family or with my kids.
Not all fast food workers will see a pay increase. The law increasing the minimum wage only applies to national fast food chains with 60 or more locations. It also excludes chains that have bakeries like Panera and restaurants with grocery stores. There's another twist in the sexual assault lawsuit against former San Diego County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher. Amitha Sharma reports that Fletcher has now filed a complaint accusing his accuser, Grecia Figueroa, of defamation. Fletcher says Figueroa initiated contact with and pursued him and tried to force him to pay her millions of dollars. He claims that when he refused, she tried to ruin his career with false accusations. Figueroa called Fletcher's cross-complaint an absurd act of intimidation designed to silence her. The primary health care services contractor for San Diego County jails, NAFCare, failed to pay outside hospitals and other specialty providers. That's according to reporting by the San Diego Union Tribune. They say it limited the Sheriff's Department's ability to send people in custody for needed treatment. They also say NAFCare relied on unlicensed staff, ignored requests to repair or replace equipment, and failed to fill hundreds of shifts. The Sheriff's Department has ordered NAFCare to fix those issues. From KPBS, you're listening to San Diego News Now. Stay with me for more of the local news you need.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum of payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Pre-qualification is available at splatero.com.
More than 400 humanitarian organizations are asking the Biden administration to stop all deportations to Haiti. Experts told border reporter Gustavo Solis that conditions in the Caribbean nation are too dangerous right now.
Haiti is in chaos right now as armed groups have taken over the country, and Americans in Haiti are leaving.
The schools have been closed for a very long time. People are unable to go to the hospital. They're unable to go to the market. So it's a level of insecurity that we have never seen before in Haiti right now.
Gerline Joseph is the executive director of the Haitian Bridge Alliance, a San Diego-based advocacy group.
It's incredible. It's unconscionable for deportations to be happening to Haiti.
Joseph says that the last deportation flight to Haiti was scheduled for February 29th, the last day of Black History Month.
We wanted to deport Black folks to the first Black independent country in the Americas, the one that fight for freedom for all people. And that's how we chose to close Black History Month.
That flight never departed because armed groups took over the Haitian airport. It remains closed, but deportations continue by sea, including 65 Haitians on March 7th. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
Oceanside and Vista are the next two cities to join the Clean Energy Alliance. While CEA will be the city's new energy provider, SDG&E will still handle the transmission and billing, but customers do have some options.
two options. They can stay with Clean Energy Alliance and have these new renewable energy options, or they can go back to SDG&E, an investor-owned utility, and have less renewable energy options.
That was Katie Melendez, the co-chair of CEA and deputy mayor for the city of Vista. She says customers won't be seeing a big change to their electric bills, but they can expect to see profits going back into the communities for cleaner energy. Childcare is a huge cost for many families, on average $1,600 a month for infants in San Diego. Some families get help through subsidies, but they have to make a very low income to qualify. As part of the special series, Where's My Village?, reporter Tanya Thorne looks at the subsidy chasm.
It's very hard. Trying to get food for twins, clothing. People always ask how it is with twins and tell them it's two babies at once, so it's double the diapers, double everything.
Masada Ellis is a father of 4.
I mean, just last night, both twins went to potty, and it's, I'm done, so then you got to go and wipe one, go wipe the other.
His youngest, Manar and Mahir, are 5 years old. They go to a Head Start program in San Diego, free childcare for families who qualify.
It's helped a lot because we can't afford it.
Masada's twins were able to get into the program when they were 2 years old. It helped his family even more after COVID shuttered their event planning business.
So when they came to Head Start, it helped them learn how to adapt to the world and be familiar with people.
Families like Masada's can get funds for childcare, but they have to make a low income to qualify. That leaves many families in a chasm. They make too much to get help, but not enough to actually afford childcare.
I would say the system is not ideal. There are many legislated hoops that parents have to jump through to be able to access the dollars.
Kim McDougall and Courtney Baltiski advocate for childcare for the San Diego County YMCA.
We're seeing more, at least state legislators, who are willing to understand what some of those hoops are and at least try to dismantle some of the cumbersome systems that are barriers for families.
Just over a third of kids in California met the criteria in 2020. But there's just one bar for the entire state, which means in expensive places like San Diego, far more families likely need help.
Then we can really capture that segment of the population that really has no other option. They cannot pay for it and they cannot access the subsidy.
Advocates have worked to reduce the fees families have to pay, even if they get subsidized care, and make the process of signing up much easier. One of Head Start's barriers of entry is simply optics. Some families who would qualify for the program just don't know it exists as an option for them. Masada has seen this firsthand.
I went to a conference and I was out eating with my spiritual mom and dad, and they told me their waiter, they see him all the time, and they say he's such a great person. He talked to me and he told me he had a 2-year-old, and I was like, wow. And he's like, yeah, but it's hard out here. And I told him about Head Start and early education, and he had no idea about it. He started crying right there, and I was so shocked to see that he was crying because he understood that now he can have help and he didn't have to worry about working so much. It's just hard for a lot of people out here. It's very hard for a lot of people out here.
In San Diego, families can go to childcaresandiego.com to check their eligibility for subsidies. The experience with Head Start has been so positive for Masada and his children that he's now fighting for an expansion of the program.
It was just natural to want to give back and see all the families that they help. My kid goes to school and he starts counting, and I'm like, that's not Spanish and it's Tagalog. And I'm like, whoa, you know how to count to 10 in Tagalog? Okay, wow. Then he counts to 10 in Spanish, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then it's in English, and I'm like, that's supposed to be. Come to find out, my kids have friends that are African. They have friends that are Dominican, Puerto Rican, all kind of Latin different friends, and they don't know anything. They just know that they speak a different language, and it's so cool that they want to learn it too.
He's gone as far as Washington with his message.
I was in Washington advocating, and I texted a friend, and she said, what are you doing? I said, I'm in Washington advocating for early education. And she said, could you tell Congress people that there are people out here who are staying in abusive relationships because they can't afford to live single out here in San Diego only by themselves or with a child or two is very hard. So my message is to anyone who's listening, to always look into early education and to let's make this world better for all of us. I felt like I have a voice and I could use my voice and my platform to be heard and seen by people that need to hear and see other people who can't be heard.
Coming up, a center in Julian helped an endangered wolf come back from near extinction. We'll have that story and more just after the break.
KPBS On Demand is supported by the San Diego County Toyota dealers, presenting a new 2025 Tundra designed to combine performance and comfort with up to 437 horsepower and 10-speed automatic transmission. See your Toyota dealer, the San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy.
On Thursday, the California Wolf Center in Julian will send 3 of their male wolves to Chicago's Brookfield Zoo. It's part of the captive management program that's helped Mexican gray wolves rebound from near extinction. SciTech reporter Thomas Fudge has the story.
There are 23 Mexican gray wolves that live at the California Wolf Center, spread out over 50 acres in Julian. It may seem like plenty of room, but when males get to be 1.5 years old, the place gets kind of crowded. Sierra McIsaac, the wolf care coordinator at the Wolf Center, says males that age get the desire to leave and start their own pack, a process called dispersal.
And we have a pack of wolves where it is mom and dad and 7 boys. And so these brothers are starting to have a little bit of tension, but what's really awesome is we are able to have that natural dispersal.
Transporting the wolves this week to the Brookfield Zoo is done to imitate the natural process of dispersal of young males. Mexican gray wolves, native to the American Southwest, were down to only 13 in the wild in the late 70s, but the latest census by U.S. Fish and Wildlife shows there are at least 257 Mexican grays in the U.S. The California Wolf Center is part of a program that breeds the wolves and moves captive pups to wilderness dens so they can be raised in the wild. Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.
As part of our Spring Arts Guide, we're introducing you to some of the creative people sharing their art with San Diego. Artist Tara Arunsakul is one of those people. She has a new solo exhibit on view at the Athenaeum Art Center in Logan Heights. Arts producer and editor Julia Dixon Evans says it's an immersive maze that explores assimilation, the American dream, and racism.
With the sunlight behind it, Tara Arunsakul's massive suspended maze grows white and nearly translucent. A closer look reveals all sorts of strange, found objects affixed to the white panels. There's tea bags, there's dried ramen noodles, there's human hair. But from afar, it looks ethereal and delicate.
I wanted to build an interactive maze. I think that's something that I've learned since I was in high school is given a canvas or any space is to take as much of it as possible and create as much of it as possible.
The maze takes up plenty of space at the Athenaeum Art Center in Logan Heights, and that crisp, delicate white material is mostly toilet seat covers and tissue. The objects woven into and stuck to the maze represent assimilation, particularly for Asian immigrants and their families, and the balance they have to strike between pursuing a fragile, misleading American dream and hanging on to pieces of home. Arunsakul wants visitors to experience the unsettling conflict and disorientation of assimilation within the maze. And food is an undeniable part of the immigrant experience, anchoring families to both old and new lands. Food also serves to bring the art to a level that's easier to understand.
I think that food is something that everyone can relate to.
It's all over the maze.
There's like some Lay's chips here that have it's Thai Lay's chips, and it's things that we can identify with, but there's a lot of influence of every culture, I think. Nothing comes from nowhere.
Arunsakul wanted the maze to speak to how susceptible American society is to racism in her own experience as a first-generation Thai Lao American.
Essentially, it's about structural racism racism. Personally speaking, from my experience, is the assimilation of Asian culture into white American society and what that means for each narrative. And so each sheet in this maze kind of represents that.
As visitors make their way through the maze, they'll see more prominent tufts of hair and even plastic cockroaches. Arunsicle wanted to explore how anti-Blackness has historically thrived in Asian American communities. She knew this could mean a ramped-up sense of discomfort.
The hair you see here is sort of, I think it represents a lot of different things in different cultures, but I definitely think that hair is something that we all try to maintain in some certain way. So that kind of represents the anti-Blackness too, is like something that we always have to check ourselves on.
Tucked away within the maze are some altar-like groupings. There's loose white rice and sculptures on the floor, with suspended sculptures hanging above them. These groupings were inspired by the formation of rock in caves and the way minerals are redeposited, and they interrupt the flow of the maze.
Structural racism sort of goes unseen unless you're confronted with it directly or affected by it.
Christopher Padilla manages the Athenaeum Art Center Gallery and curated the exhibition. He said that Arunsicle's art is both alluring and in your face.
It was nice to be able to bring it in here and just blow it up to a scale where you are forced as a viewer to essentially walk through a massive piece.
As unsettling as some of the installation is, the beauty in Arunsicle's work is not unintentional, and it's not beside the point.
I think that a lot of people need things to be sort of picturesque so they could digest it a little bit more. My purpose of this installation is so people could be engulfed and feel comfortable enough. Like I said, I use household items, so people would be more open-minded to step in.
Julia Dixon Evans, KPBS News.
You can find more of our Spring Arts Guide at kpbs.org/springartsguide. That's it for the podcast today. As always, you can find more San Diego news online at kpbs.org. Join us again tomorrow for the day's top stories. I'm Debbie Cruz. Thanks for listening and have a great Tuesday.
KPBS On Demand is supported by UC San Diego's Art Power, presenting cellist Joshua Roman, performing from his album Immunity, alongside music by J.S. Bach and more, Sunday, June 22nd at UC San Diego's Epstein Family Amphitheater. Reserve your tickets at artpower.ucsd.edu.